Hello everybody and welcome to another Product Spotlight. I'm John and today we have a couple models from Atlas. So let's go to the workbench and take a look. Alright, so here's what we're looking at today. These are HO scale 40-foot wood reefers from Atlas. These are from Atlas's Master Series, and I found on the Atlas website only one of these, which means they're not even released yet, at least not all the paint schemes they're going to have in this run. I found that they are listed for $42.95 on the website. And I think it would be worth your while to go to the Atlas website and find out if they have the one you're looking for. Since we have two of the same thing here, I'm going to just pick one and go through it sort of more detailed, and then we'll go through the other one sort of briefly. I chose this orange/yellowish one because I think it'll be easier to see the details on it. There's not as much black on black as the other one that was in the background. So let's take a really close look. First thing I do want to mention is that the grab over here is a separately applied wire grab. It looks like the stirrups are also separately applied parts. And then this ladder on the end is also a separately applied part. And something that I'm looking at, which is pretty cool, is the door. This is a separately applied door bar and latch. That looks really good. Something else you'll notice about this model is that it has these strips of wood siding. That also looks good. And the logo is very crisp and clean, even under magnification. So the paint and the markings on this are very well done. So looking at the break end, you can see that the ladder detail on this is also separately applied, as well as the grab here. It's a separately applied fine wire grab. There's a cut bar here that's also separately applied and very delicate. The brake wheel, of course, is separately applied, as well as the bar that goes down to presumably under the car. And something else you can see from this angle is how good the detail is in the hatches. That's something on these Atlas Master models that they do a really good job of. And I'm going to go out on a limb here and guess that these hatches also open. We'll check that when we look at the roof. But this is really cool. It has all the detail that you might want on a car like this. And I want to show you this same end, but from the other angle to point something else out. And I've done this before, but can you guess what I want to point out? It's this. It also has the air hose. So, like I was saying a second ago, everything that you might possibly want on a model like this is there. And since we have the model on the bench, I figured I'd show you this side as well. So the A end is detailed just like the B end, of course, minus the brake wheel, but it does have the same separately applied fine details. Taking a closer look at the roof, you can see that the wood panel detail is there, just like it is on the side of the car. And this is a separately applied simulated wooden walkway that's very finely detailed, and you can see that there's board detail on it. It's not just a solid piece, but there's actually three distinct separate sort of panels of wood that go the length of the car. It looks pretty cool. And I've looked more carefully at the hatches, and I'm leaning toward the idea that they don't actually open, because usually on a car like this, this latch right here will flip up, and you can flip it over, or up to here, and then the latch would open after that. And I pushed on it a little, and it doesn't seem to be flipping up. So, tell you what I'll do, instead of ruining my model by breaking it, I'll leave that to you to figure out if these hatches open or not. What I will say is that they look really good, like they are separately applied parts, which makes me think that they're supposed to open, but I'm just not going to risk breaking it because it's too cool. So we'll take a look at the bottom of the car sort of briefly here. You can see that these are in fact metal wheels that come with it. You can also see these are body mounted knuckle couplers on each end. And if you look more carefully, you can see that there's separately applied brake detail under the car. Some of it, like this, looks like it came undone, but again, this is one of those things where I don't want to mess anything up, so I'm not going to push on it. It looks good though overall, because that is separately applied stuff, and you can see that it also has a simulated wooden floor, so good detail on this model. Let's switch over to that white one carefully. Alright, I've done the old switcheroo on you, and this brake detail looks the same. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that the other one isn't broken, but it is supposed to look like that. But anyway, you know, this is black on black, so as I was mentioning earlier, it's kind of hard to see the details, but I think I have it lit in a way that you can see the, you know, the simulated wood floor and all that. And of course, this one, it's basically the same car, but with a different paint job, so it also has the body-mounted couplers. Very good. And a brief look at the roof reveals the same detail. The wooden slats on the roof. On the walk, you can see that this is a plank, and then the seam is here, right, on this top one and this third one here. And then the middle one, it's offset, and the seam is here. That also goes down to where there's a seam and then an offset seam for these others on this walkway. That looks really good, and it is a separately applied part that's just glued to the top of the car. It looks great, and the hatch details on this car also look especially good. Alright, so I've skipped over to the brake end just so I can show you there's the same detail. We have the separately applied grabs over here, thin wire grabs. There's an air hose over here. That's the AccuMate knuckle coupler. That's a separately applied ladder, and then the brake wheel details also separately applied. And then it's hard to see again because it's black on black, but there is a cut bar here as well. Looks excellent. This level of detail is something that you can expect to find usually on Atlas Master models like this. All right, and finally we're going to take a look at the side here. And again, there's no surprises. You have wood paneling, just like on the other one. Separately applied ladder detail, separately applied door bar detail, separately applied little stirrups and so forth. It looks really good. I think these are really cool models, and I also think that anybody with an older era layout will enjoy having them on there. There's something, as I've mentioned before on Product Spotlights, there's something about this sort of Billboard style of boxy car that is sort of a throwback to an era that's long past, and there's something nostalgic about it that really appeals to me. So anyway, that's it for this time, and I'll see you next time.